You're watching Frank Trades with Dex, where a trading novice, that's me, trades with a 20-plus year expert, the man known as Dex the Vulcan, Dex the Agro Capitalist, or just my main man, Dex. Dex is the head trader in charge at our room at watchustrade.io. Head over to watchustrade.io to learn more, to register for a free online live trading event, or to join our room where you can trade with Dex yourself. What's up, everybody? Good morning. We're excited to be here. We weren't here yesterday, and I missed you folks. So we're back. How you doing today, Dex?
Oh man, it's glad to be back. I'm so glad to be back.
Awesome,
See, these
man.
markets have been doing exactly what I've been saying they was going to do, and let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, we've got Bitcoin up on the screen. This is the cash market, as you like to say. This is actual Bitcoin. And you've been cautioning us ever since we've been in this Kumo cloud. Although you were saying on the algos, it's a little bit more blue skies when it comes to the algos. Nonetheless, you always want to be cautious when you have this kind of a rapid move up, and we've got to take back. Was there any particular news that you know? Thanks, John. John said we can hear you both. John, is that so special that you have to tell us that? I screw it up often enough that he feels compelled to say, "Hey, I can hear you."
Exactly.
So I've learned all the buttons I got to push. Hey, I do have one since you brought it up, John. Is my mic kind of like too intense? Is it too loud? I could lower it a little bit. My mic is pretty sensitive. So let me know in comments, guys, if I'm too loud. We're still trying to work that out. But anyway, here's
the thing.
Yeah.
The Bitcoin situation, we've been in this parabolic bull trend, but it hadn't, really manifested itself into an official bull market yet. Well, according to the algos, something very special happened over these last couple of days, and that's what I was alluding to in the last broadcast. Over the last couple of days, the market has actually moved from a bear market, correction off the lows to a full-blown parabolic uptrend. Now, looking at your chart, you see the Kumo cloud of death, and rightfully so. But on the algos, it's not. The algos say it's not in a Kumo cloud, that it's wide open. That's why I said this thing is threatening to cut through the Kumo cloud without a pullback, like a hot knife through butter. But I still caution nonetheless, because you are in that Kumo cloud on the regular visual chart.
Just to clarify, we went from having bullish trend momentum, which doesn't mean bull market. We surpassed that. Now we're in just an actual parabolic bull market in cryptos.
Yep.
So
I still anticipate higher moves coming. If you take a look at the weekly bar so far, look how it's respecting the trend line support. It spiked to it and then bounced right back again. So I think that 76, 77 handle is going to be critical. That's a critical support.
Which we touched last night right here.
76 and 77, yes. And that should act as support. Now, you don't want to see a close below that. A close below that would show a key reversal, and that we would be in bullish corrective mode, and that could possibly lead to something, bigger. But right now, I think, believe it or not, the bulls are still in control of this market, and I just saw this bar is profit taking for now.
Okay.
If you look over at the daily chart, you see a different story. On the daily chart, you see a pullback, but the pullback is threatening to become a correction on the daily chart. You still have bulls in control, and you still have support there, but right now, so far, the daily bar is suggesting a pointer showing more correction is coming. Now, the day's not over with yet. It's just starting. But so far, all things being equal, that daily bar right now is shaping up to be a massive pointer. We'll see. Right now,
I noticed The pulse waves came out after last night, after the correction started. We were already below 8 last night when the pulse waves came out. And I noticed, without giving too much away, there has to be quite a move back up before we confirm that it's time to get back in. That's all I'll say about that.
Not only that, but for those of you who are in the trading room, if you have futures quotes access, you will notice that the Bitcoin futures has a bearish 2-bar Charlie today, which means we're looking at an all-day down day today in Bitcoin.
Very interesting.
Nice. Yeah, it is what it is, folks.
Yes, it is.
Look, you can't make this stuff up, right?
And I gotta say, like, the trading mentality of a lot of crypto traders is, hey, I had a pullback, let me go grab a bunch. But that could be really risky, and the pulse waves kind of demand a little bit of discipline to say, like, yeah, okay, you got to wait until you have the confirmation to get back in, and then you'll have a much higher likelihood of not getting murdered when you get back in, which does require some discipline. Like, I was looking at a particular token that I like to scoop as much as I can, and last night I got to be honest, Dex, I keep having to learn this hard lesson. I almost got back in, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then this morning, it was like way down again. And I'm like, see, Frank? You got to listen to the Vulcan. You got to be like the Vulcan, no emotions. So, yeah, cool. Folks, let us know in comments. We're taking requests here. So let us know what you'd like to look at. Dex, what were we in? Was it the QID?
Yeah, the QUID. That's the inverse ETF for the NASDAQ 100.
Let me pull that up. Sorry, guys, my charts go slow when we live stream. Oh, there it is. So let's pull that up. QID. And I noticed a lot of people seem to be following your pulse picks, which is cool. We have, in addition, folks, to doing the 1,400 plus reports every night, or I should say that sounds overwhelming. I should say reports covering over 1,400 different instruments every night. Very easy to sort through, though. We have Dex sharing his pulse picks for the week, and that's what he's looking at. So, and a lot of people I seem to be enjoying that. So, all right, so here we are with the QID, and look at that. So you were long the QID this week?
Yeah, the system suggested getting long the QID this week, and getting long the bonds and getting long gold. But I did not have an opportunity to participate in that because of what I had to be somewhere.
Yep.
On yesterday, so I didn't get a chance. But I'm looking to actually get in today. Those that did get in, you lucky son of a guns.
Yeah.
Go ahead and tighten up those stops. If you used the 2-bar Charlie method, some of you probably got out this morning with profit, and then others who are using the wider daily recommended stops, just go ahead and discipline yourself and follow that methodology closely, because you may be able to absorb today's pullback as another opportunity to add and leg in extra positions, because that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to use today as an opportunity to be able to start building that position. I think these are going to be longer term positions. I think QUID has a lot more higher to go. I think it wants to get somewhere near right below the Kumo cloud. And when I say below the Kumo cloud, I'm talking about the $45 handle on the QUID.
Sorry, I messed up the chart there.
So I'm looking at a possible $45 resistance on this move. So I'm looking to leg into it and build upon it. In addition to that, bonds have pulled back today too. So I'm going to use this opportunity also to see if I can get long these bonds. Gold has also pulled back a little bit today. So I'm using today's pullback as an opportunity to get in. I'm a little late because I missed a day to get in, but today's pullback should be a very nice spot to get in there. So that's on my agenda today.
Very cool. All right, request from Dan here was saying we got to look at PPT, maybe ZEC. So let's look at PPT to start. This is This is one of these trading view charts that doesn't really exist, but it's useful. This is looking at the dollar versus PPT. So here we go. And PPT's had some very controversial news over the last couple weeks. There was, I mean, a lot of hype in certain areas, certain sectors of the crypto community about PPT, that it was going to be something really special. And as time goes on, the story's changed quite a bit. I mean, at one point this was selling for $70.
Well, I can tell you right now that market is still in a bear market on both weekly and daily time frames, and I'm expecting sideways to slightly lower prices over the next 3 to 5 days on that.
Okay. Here, let's look at the daily in a bigger picture. Here. Let's see here. I got to get an Ethernet going for this thing.
It doesn't matter. It's still the same.
Yeah.
I'm expecting sideways to lower prices within the next 3 to 5 weeks on the weekly, and the next 3 to 5 days on the daily chart.
Good one. Yeah. Well, I'm just kind of marveling at it because it has a similar feel to the Bitcoin chart until you start getting over here. It's not rallying like everything else is. And then the other one was ZEC. I gotta find that one too. Give me a sec. ZEC. We got a ZEC chart on Kraken. Let's pull that up. You'd think by now I'd have all these charts in my little playlist library here, but there's always something new somebody wants to look at. So here's it's Zcash, of course. This is the weekly.
Okay. As you can see on the weekly, you're still in a long, protracted bear market. You're below the Kumo cloud. Both price and trend lines are below the Kumo cloud. And I'm expecting that this one is trying to build a base here, and it's trying to, build some sort of momentum off of the bear market lows, but it's coming up upon some very powerful resistance around the $100 mark. So once you get to 100, that's where your psychological resistance is. Mm-hmm. You do have a pointer from last week that I do see the market. I see price action like a magnet getting back to that point. So I see 100 as the initial target on any long positions right now in this particular market.
Okay, cool.
I think right now bulls have wrestled control away from the bears short term here.
Okay.
But I would be using type stops.
Frank Yanez knows how to get his comment posted. He said, "I just started the room and already paid for my subscription from yesterday's gains." That's awesome to hear, man.
That is awesome.
That we really appreciate that, man. So
ride those pulse waves, man.
Ride those pulse waves, lock in those gains. That's great to hear. Has anyone bought BTC on Coinbase lately? No, I have not. Not recently. I was just talking with Mr. Kung Fu, and he was saying that he's been buying on Gemini. Have any of you been buying on Gemini? Because the thing, when I used to use Coinbase versus Gemini, Coinbase would be what I used for sort of like my daily discipline buy. I used to buy like, a few bucks a day, which actually was really cool. I haven't been doing that lately. I need to get back to it. And from an investment standpoint. So he was telling me that you can do that on Gemini now using debit card, which I did not know that was possible. Is anybody? I don't know if that's a beta program that he's in because he's a beta male, or no, I'm kidding. he's a full on alpha. He's a very handsome man. He's got the scruff going on. He's like 6 foot tall. He's a good looking guy. So anybody else can confirm that with Gemini? Because I want to try that out and see how that works. Because we're getting ready to freshen up some of our tutorials on, and one of the first ones is for people who are new to crypto, is on how to buy crypto. And if Gemini's doing that, then what's this warning that she's given us here? Let's see here, Dex. You've been following the news. We got a cute little kid.
Trump has been over in the UK visiting with the Queen. He had a dinner last night, and then there's other talks about something else going on. That's as far as my knowledge goes. Like I said, I'm trying to get acclimated back after being a day out. But that's what I saw come across the screen on the business channels. I don't know what else is going on right now.
And did he change his haircut?
I couldn't tell.
I kept seeing these things that he had a new hairstyle, but it didn't look like it to me. Like he went, here's something. And Dex, you and I are card carrying evangelicals, and so we can comment. He went to David Platt's church, which I don't know that much about David Platt. I'd seen him in the past. And he kind of surprised announced that he was coming to church that day, and he wanted the church to pray for him. He likes to do that. He likes to go places and ask. He knows evangelicals love that. He knows that we love stuff. Oh, the president wants us to pray for him, right? Everybody freaks out. So he goes in, they pray for him, and the guy prays a very, this guy's one thing I do know about this guy is like a real hardcore Reformed guy, real Bible guy. And as far as I know, I could be wrong, but that was my impression. And he prays for him, and then the president, waves goodbye and leaves. And then he apologized the next day for praying for him. And I'm like, what? Somebody in his church something to do with race, that he apologized because of he didn't want to hurt anybody. He knows race is a sensitive issue. I'm like, what are you prayed for the leader of the free world in your Sunday service, and someone convinced you to apologize? That
don't sound very Reformed Baptist to me.
No, dude, it's like, man, lay off the soy lattes, bro.
that is not a Reformed Baptist.
Come on,
theological construct.
That's weird, right?
Scripture say that we're supposed to pray for those that are in leadership.
We literally got a verse.
Around that.
We literally got a verse for that. Anyway, don't want to get theological on our Watches Trade Room, but we literally got a verse for that. Could you? What I was reading. He didn't say anything weird in the prayer. He didn't let the president do a stump speech or anything like that. He just prayed for the dude and let him go. Like, I can't imagine a circumstance under which you would apologize for that. I mean, that's like, talk about a innocuous thing to do,
real quick, breaking news.
News. Sorry. That got me going.
The rally, the Fed's Powell said that he's willing to do whatever it takes to keep the bull market rally going. That's why the market is rocketed up right now. Chairman Powell.
Wow. I would just like
the Fed is saying they're going to put more liquidity into the market.
I would like to point out that I just got an amen. Us retired preachers need an amen every once in a while, so thank you. All right, cool. So let's look. Let's pull this up. Jackie's got a request. LTC. Let's look at that.
All right.
Thank you, Jackie. Let's pull that up. This is the dollar Coinbase. These Coinbase charts are good for LTC and Bitcoin because they've been around a while.
Yeah, I noticed that LTC and Ethereum tend to really move with Bitcoin a lot.
Oh, yeah.
More than the other cryptos do.
Especially Litecoin.
Those like your big three.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry, folks. I got to get Ethernet going with this stuff because when we're live streaming, it just kills my ability to do things. So let's see here. I got to get that bazillion-dollar Apple Mac Pro they unveiled yesterday. all I saw, Dex. All I saw was they announced it, and all I see is all these jokes about how it looks like a cheese grater. And then apparently they're charging $1,000 for the monitor stand. The stand, not the monitor.
What?
The stand. I love Apple, but sometimes it's like, guys.
You know what it is, though? They have
focus
a
group
focus
group something, That's a good point, man.
Look, what do you do when you're the only company that makes computers that don't break?
Yeah, right.
You'll
get V to
charge $1 million for it.
Listen, V has this reaction to Apple. It's funny because I know he loves it deep down. Like, he gets all kinds of Apple stuff, and he'll just freak out about how Apple is dead and all this stuff, and then he'll be like, "Oh, check out this new iPad I got."
Wow,
he's so funny. But Litecoin is looking almost identical, isn't it? From what I mean,
it's to the Bitcoin. It is identical.
Yeah, very same situation. Yeah.
Bulls are still in control. You have a spike support low at 100 even, and I think that bulls, as long as they can, as long as you don't close below that 100, we should be good. Spikes to or below trend line support are acceptable. You can spike below it, but you don't want to see a close below it, because then that signifies a key reversal, and you don't want to see that. So as long as we can maintain here, I think the market will eventually push its way top side of the Kumo cloud and continue the run.
Very cool. Oh,
Yeah.
Wayne has our back. Wayne is saying that the apology was fake news.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, now I owe an apology to Mr. Platt. All right, cool. Thanks, Wayne. I apologize if that was fake news. I was faked. They got me, folks. They got me. Cool. I'll try to check that out and confirm tomorrow. But thanks, Wayne. Appreciate that. I'd hate to throw shade on a guy who didn't do what I said. So appreciate that correction. In real time. Love these comments. Okay, so let's see what else people are asking for. Rob says Bitcoin Cash moves like a maniac. Agreed.
Yep.
Trade real stocks. How dare you?
Wow.
How dare you? All right. Let's see. BTC. All right. Now people are.
Oh, I can't stress this enough for the traders in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what I say on this broadcast or any other broadcast, remember the price triggers are king. 2-bar Charlie method is king. All right. Regardless of what I say, don't ever stop using that 2-bar Charlie method, and don't ever stop using the price triggers to get you in and out of positions.
Yeah.
All right. Can't stress that enough.
Can you speak to and Dex? I keep saying we're going to do this so that I can help people more, but can you speak to trailing stops on whatchamacallit, on Thinkorswim? You could do trailing stops on there, correct?
Yes, to my knowledge, you can do automatic trailing stops on there. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things I like about Thinkorswim. You could actually write your own code and do your own indicators if you wanted to, and have it update with buy and sell signals. I mean, you can get really jiggy with it if you wanted to.
Did you just say jiggy with it?
Yes, I did. I don't trust. I want y'all to hear this. I do not trust, all right, a machine, a computer program, even my own, to execute trades for me or move stops for me. I'd rather do that myself manually. That's just me. I think computers and programs are great. They're wonderful as far as number crunching and spitting out, data. But no way am I going to let something, execute trades for me.
Okay.
It can give me buy and sell signals all day, but I'm not going to let it execute my trades. You guys can try it. I know it works a little bit different on O&A when you're doing micro forex. Right. I trust that mechanism a lot more than I would trust it for equities and futures. And I won't get into all the technical aspects of why that is, but that's just my personal opinion.
You essentially like I'm laughing at the comments. So you essentially would be just watching it and updating using 2-bar Charlie.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But like I said, they will Thinkorswim will allow you to program it so that and have it execute your program. It will literally go in there and move your stops and all this other stuff. I don't trust that for equities and futures. I'm sorry. I don't. I do trust it 100% for trading micro forex with O&A, and that's just because it's a different product. It's a different program. It's a different thing. It's a different market altogether. It's not like equities and futures. I'm sorry. It's just not. So I don't trust it.
Yeah. I want to post.
You can try it though. I'm not going to talk you out of try it. It may work for you.
And if it doesn't, you're going to make fun of them.
No, I won't. I'll just say, hey, I did tell you.
That's what I mean, and then you'll make fun of. I want to say this: if you're in the room and you're new and you're struggling, this is a great time to get on. I know sometimes people get shy because we're live, but everybody was new in the room at one point. I'm just typing in my iPad. I probably look really weird doing this. Taking questions live. Great for new folks.
Yeah, and on that note, this is a great time to come on in because we're getting close to entering the summer months
Hmm.
where the markets tend to be a lot slower moving. That's not always the case. But it's a great time for those that are new to trading, new to investing, period. This is a great time for you to come on in and go through the training courses and all the tutorials so that you can learn how to do this. We got people that have uh, begun doing this full time. We got people who lost jobs, and this is their sole course, sole way of making income.
Hmm.
And then we have others who are retired and they've generated a new income stream for themselves.
Yep.
So this is a great time to come on in and learn the material, and earn while you learn.
We've
And
also got people who are going through our funding program and getting funded so they could trade through the Remain Calm funding. So, funding accounts that they could trade full time off of, which is really cool.
yes, indeed,
Now,
take advantage of the opportunity.
this is more of a philosophy question. This is a good one. Is it okay to buy the dips if you're just accumulating? So, I'm assuming what you mean is he's essentially talking about investing, which is obviously different from trading. Dex, I mean, do you have, what's your take on that? I don't know if I've talked to you much about this. I know you
Yeah,
prefer
basically
to
what he's
make your money
saying.
work all the time, but is
Yeah,
there a
I mean,
place for just stacking some Bitcoin on the side?
yeah. Let's break it down, all right? Because this is a very good question, and we need to address it. So let's address it. Let's go there. I want you guys to listen up. All right, we're being serious, no jokes. I want to deal with this. Okay, so is it okay to buy the dips if you're just accumulating? All right. So under the auspice of that question, one would assume that a person is taking more of an investing standpoint. You can call that dollar cost averaging if you want. The different names and styles for doing it. There's even a martingale theory where you're actually, as the market is declining, you're just buying more and more and more. And then when it swings back, you can actually turn a losing trade into a winning trade. I do not advocate any of that. I don't dollar cost average. I don't just catch falling knives and buy a market that's falling. I let the system that I program tell me when it's the right time to do that. There are times, especially in a bull market, where you will buy pullbacks, all right, because the market's bullish
Hmm.
and you know how to maneuver that. Same thing in the falling market. There are times where you will add to your short position on rallies, all right. So when you're trading, you do buy weakness as well as strength, and you sell strength as well as selling weakness. And you just have to know when and where to do all of that. But as far as catching a falling knife, let me explain what I mean by that. Catching a falling knife would be, you see the market's been bullish, it's going up every day, every week, you're just loving life, and then all of a sudden, for some odd reason, you're getting, I mean, the thing just starts plummeting and crashing. In a situation like that, especially when you don't know why the market is falling, you never want to get in there and stand in front of that because you
Hmm.
don't know where the low is going to be. The low could be 1,000 points later. That's catching a falling knife.
Right.
That's that's gambling. We don't do that.
Hmm.
But even in saying that, this is going to sound contradictory, but there are times, and I explained this to you guys before, there's a thing called a free trade
Hmm.
where in certain parabolic move conditions, it's okay to do that. And I did go into explaining that. I think we did a tutorial thing on that. We talked about those parabolic moves
Hmm.
where you can fade a parabolic rally or fade a parabolic crash and make easy coin doing so. We talked about that. So, you know, everything is not in stone. There's some gray areas. There's some conditions that will cause you to go against certain things. So in this case, though, um, as far as the cryptos, like adding to pullbacks in Litecoin and stuff like that, I would do it in as much as the system is long in that particular market.
Okay.
So that's how I would do it. I would say let the price triggers tell you when those conditions exist to do that. And if the system is not long in the market, then you probably shouldn't be either. That's just my rule of thumb.
Uh,
I'm dead
no,
serious.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at you.
I'll end with this. I'll end with this. Back in the day when I had my mortgage company and all that, and I was doing the real estate thing, I remember some people who I looked up to.
Hmm.
They were the triple OGs in the real estate game. And I will never forget the day I got that phone call that said, "Yo, Dex, the gig is up. We got to get out of the market. Sell everything. Sell all properties, sell all mortgage-backed securities,
Hmm.
whatever, any loans you got on the table that's ready to close them and close up shop, get out of the market."
Hmm.
I had people that I looked up to, man, some people had 50 houses. I'm not kidding, 70, 80 houses. And it was like, the gig is up. And around the same time, Donald Trump in an interview said that he was selling all of his properties and getting the heck out of the U.S. He said
Wow.
he was not going to do business in the U.S. anymore. You can't do business in the U.S. anymore. He was looking to go overseas and go to Germany or someplace else. So what I said to people, my people who were underneath me, who were working for me at the time, I said, look, game's over. We're done, right? And some people were like, what are you talking about? That don't make any sense. I'm like, look, rule number one, when you see the triple OGs, the big time people you look up to, the people who brought you into the game, when you see them saying it's time to get out, run, I've never seen nothing like this before, what should you be doing? If Donald Trump, who's the multi-billionaire, who is more of a real estate mogul than you will ever be, tells you that he's getting out of the game,
Mm.
what should you be doing?
Yeah.
In Jurassic Park, when the movie came on and all the animals were running in the opposite direction, what should they have done? Ran with the animals and asked
Follow the
questions later. Why are we running? Where are we going? Okay, all right, well, I'm with y'all. You don't move in the opposite direction.
Mm.
That's foolishness. That's suicidal. So, needless to say, in this situation, it's the same thing. If the post-wave system is saying, don't belong in this market, we switch to a bearish stance,
Hmm.
then you need to be bearish too. And
Right.
that's the best way I can put it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. That said, I mean, just like someone who would stack silver, right?
Right.
There are those who stack crypto. I mean,
Right.
does that make sense to you?
Okay. Yeah. Now, see, like I said, there's always pros and cons,
Right.
and there's also scenarios
Hmm.
that go against the common wisdom. So let me break this down. All
Hmm.
right. This is not contradictory because we're talking about two different things. I'm talking about, I use a real estate example as example because that was a one-time situation where
Yeah.
the people who, they're senior citizens who've been in the game all their life told me they have never seen a situation like we had back in 2008. And the scenario that I gave you was actually 2007 when we got out of the market.
Mm.
So anyway, the situation that we're talking about is when it comes to the markets, we're talking about paper markets. All right, paper. I'm talking about the paper market for gold and silver,
Right.
not your physicals. When it comes to physical gold and silver, there's never a bad time to buy gold and silver, regardless of price. There's never a bad time to buy gold and silver physicals. All right, you always want to stack your physicals. So yes, if gold falls down to 150 bucks today and you can put your hands on some physicals, then absolutely back up the truck and buy all the physicals you can stand. So I'm not talking about the physical market. There's never a bad time to do that.
Hmm.
Likewise, when it comes to the crypto market, all right, there is an argument to be made that within the crypto cash market, there is never a bad time to own some physical crypto,
Hmm.
especially your favorites and especially the ones you've
So
done research on.
somebody's head just
And
exploded when you said physical crypto.
yeah, hey, I have to use that analogy so people can get what I'm saying. I'm talking about the trading aspect of things, paper market, not the physical. Because now, when you say physical crypto, I'm talking about not the crypto you're trading with on the exchange, but the cryptos you're hiding in your wallet.
Right.
So, like for instance, let's say
Yeah.
Bitcoin,
See, that's what I was trying to
let's say
get. I'm trying to get you to say that because, like, I know there are
yeah,
some people who they can't make that jump unless you say it. They need to hear you say it. So.
yeah, like look, all right, here's case in point. Case in point. So I like to bring things home and use real life examples. I own some I own some Veritasium in a wallet.
Hmm.
I've never traded it. I've just held it, and I've held it for years. Okay, regardless of how the market's gone up and down, I haven't added to it, but I've held it for years. It was gifted to me, and I just hold on to it as a long-term investment. I'm
Hmm.
not trading it at all, and I have no intention to do so. It's in a wallet. It's not held in an exchange. It's offline.
Right.
All right. So that's there you have it. Some of you guys bought Bitcoin when it was 11 cents, and you may own 1,000 shares of that stuff. You know what? More power to you. I'm
Yeah.
not telling you to
Jeez.
sell the Bitcoin because it's bearish today because it's down $700. No,
That'd be crazy.
that's a different story. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
cryptos and physical metals go hand in hand. You own some rare coin somewhere and it ain't going nowhere. As far as you know, it ain't going out of business. It's a good thing, solid thing. Like you own Litecoin or Ethereum, and you bought it when it was $2. Yeah, of course, hold that baby. You ain't got to. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the traders who are looking to trade in a given market.
Right.
Those individuals need to be sensitive to when the markets decline and rally. So by all means, if you're a stacker, if you're a crypto stacker, then yes, you're going to buy every pullback you can get because you're trying to stack and build a position.
All right. Very
So we're
cool.
not talking about stackers, we're talking about traders right now. Okay, so
Hmm.
understand the difference. Not talking about stackers with physicals and stackers with cryptos. Two different types of people there.
Very cool.
And I
This
hope I made myself clear.
You did. That was very helpful. Important question. CO wanted to know if we are butter, and then I said, "Huh?" And then she said, "'Cause you're on a roll." So you in you
I like that. I like that.
you in the joke of the day, and we
I like that.
appreciate the encouragement. All right, let's see here.
Yes.
Wayne is saying, "Do you have a date for the launch of the new website? Lots of sources. Watch us trade." Yeah, Wayne. Basically, for the most part, with everything, we're hoping this week, but I keep saying that, so uh, we should be getting there soon. But just to simplify it for you, anything. There's really only two things that we've got going on. We've got the Slack, okay, and the Slack chat is where you're going to get all the announcements you need in terms of when we're going live. We're going to be in there answering your questions, and then the WatchUsTrade.app, which is our password-protected member site, is where all the educational videos are going to be. Okay, so in fact, I have that open right here. And when it says start here, if you're new, start right there. And then we've got our quick start guides and stuff like that. And all of that is going to be on the new website. The Slack chat will remain as just sort of a way for us to quickly interact with people because there's really nothing we haven't found, and we've been looking for a couple of years. We haven't really found anything better than that. You see sort of like chat rooms that you integrate into websites are usually pretty horrible. If somebody knows of something better, please let me know. So we're going to keep our Slack. We like that. It's really great for getting quick announcements to people on desktop and mobile. And we haven't found much of a better solution than that. But everything will be all of the content, like all the videos will be reposted. We'll be live streaming probably directly from the website as well as YouTube. The pulse waves will be posted on the website instead of Slack. That will be posted in a different place. But we'll continue to announce our live. So if you're feeling like, oh, what do I look at? Just keep your eye on Slack. That what announcements, that zero channel, the zero what announcements is where you're going to get any news, like an alert, like before we go on. That's where you're going to get that. And you can set it up on your phone. It'll take a few minutes to figure it out. But you can set up the Slack app on your phone to send you alerts, mobile alerts, whenever we post in that channel. And those of you who are in what, I would recommend setting it up so you get alerts for two channels, the zero channel and the one channel. And maybe if you're really trying to follow the pulse picks, the five channel. I said five channel. So zero and one, because one is where the trades are posted at night. Zero is where announcements are posted. So I usually post the announcements again in the trade discussion just because I know people are kind of hanging there. But zero and one is where you would want to put your announcements. All right, man, we're going long today.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, they got a lot of questions. It's good. Yeah, I don't mind.
I couldn't. Yeah. Any more?
Let me look. I'm a little behind on the comments because I was waiting for us to finish that other discussion. Yeah, people were just kind of talking about what you were talking about.
Yeah, we like to
Let's
give thorough
see.
answers on our show. We don't like to let people walk away with unanswered questions. We like to hit it and hit it hard and give it to you raw and correct. We don't believe in playing games and sugarcoating stuff. I like to give you the real.
Mm-hmm. Good question from Nathan. I like this one. Oh, I think you already answered him in the comments, but most of crypto is set to rally on the weekly sheet. Is that still in play after the market dip we just had? If so, would that invalidate the weekly signal, please?
Yep, I did answer that one. Basically, that's a good question too. And until and unless the weekly price triggers themselves are hit, then the weekly sheet is still in play. The weekly signals are still in play.
All right, cool. Yeah, sorry, I got programs hanging up on me here. All right, let's keep going. Some cool stuff, but I don't want to stay on. Thank you, Jackie. Jackie's praying for us. I think she's talking to us. We appreciate it a lot.
That's what's up.
This is good. No, I didn't see this. Did you guys see that the guy who won
No,
a
I
bid for a $3.4 million lunch at Warren Buffett? Oh my goodness, is a crypto trader. No, I didn't see that. I did see something. I don't know. Now I'm gun shy because I announced fake news before. I feel like CNN over here. I gotta go. I gotta go flagellate myself. I did see that the Binance CEO turned him down for a lunch or something like that. I don't know. I saw that on Twitter this morning, so I don't know if that was true. Very interesting. But no, that's interesting. He's negative on Bitcoin. You know, I see a lot, and Dex, you know, you I don't want to call you old school because that sounds insulting, and I don't mean it that way. Maybe OG. In my world, you're OG in terms of stocks and stuff like that. You do see some of these guys who just do not seem to understand cryptos or its value, just sort of crapping on it all the time. And you know, I have a good buddy I was with the other day, and I was just trying to explain to him, you know, sort of the people he listens to are still just way down on cryptos. And I was trying to explain to him, I'm like, listen, I understand they think it's, you know, tulips and fake money and all this kind of stuff, and it's like big money is getting in. The infrastructure is being built by big money, with the expectation that Bitcoin is here to stay and is going to be something very useful, if not something at least something very valuable in years to come. I mean, I don't see any way around that. It's kind of like these guys continue to poo-poo it, but I mean, it's here and it's being taken very seriously by a lot of serious institutions.
All right, well, let me give it to you guys a different way. I know we got a lot of young people here too, so let's and calling me old school is not hurtful at all. I am old school. All right, so here we go. They said the same thing about the internet. All right, so for those of you who don't know, because we didn't even know at the time that we were doing it, in the late '80s, what happened was. The idea was being implemented to create and build out what we call today the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And right out of high school, they were giving jobs away for what is called data entry. So I went ahead and snatched that up, and I worked with a company that had a government contract. And what we were doing is we were doing data entry, and you just had all this different type of information that you were just typing into a database, and you would spend all day doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea what we were doing or what it was until after the fact. Then we realized when the 90s came that what we were doing, hey, we built this thing. And the internet really didn't take off until the late 90s. It was available and existed in the early 90s, but it wasn't until the late 90s that people were really able to get on board with it, because it started out as dial-up. That was the only way to get on it was through dial-up, and of course it was awful. And during this time, there were a lot of overnight startup companies that were trying to, get involved some kind of way with this thing called the internet. And websites back then were extremely basic. And people were going to venture capitalists saying, we have an idea to do this. They wanted to do retail online, and the big mom and pops like Macy's and all those other companies laughed the people out of the boardroom meeting, saying this is the most ridiculous thing we've ever heard of. No one's going to use the computer to shop. That this is ridiculous. At the time, if you
Yeah.
wanted to get involved, and if you were a company and you wanted to get a website built, the starting amount just to get a basic website with no buttons, just a page that has your company information on it, started at $10,000.
Jeez.
Okay, and
And
as far as
don't forget what
high-speed
we're talking
internet,
about. Don't forget we're not talking something all that useful. We're talking about just information.
yeah, exactly. And peep this though, peep this game. At the time that they were doing it, we didn't have high-speed internet.
No.
So what it started happening was the internet was growing faster than the access to the internet. So then that's when they came up with T1 lines and T3 lines, with these
Yeah.
dedicated lines, and they charged anywhere from
It was
$700
a
to
fortune.
$1,200 a month to have a dedicated quote unquote high speed line. And when I say high speed,
Yeah, what was the speed?
are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was faster than dial up, but I don't forgot the name of it. You remember when Verizon came up with its thing through the phone line, but it was faster than the regular dial up?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
it
the
was like
T1
super
line
it was
was.
like super dial up. It was still crap.
But that's what the T1 line was.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So then we evolved. And now here's the thing that really changed the game. I will never forget it. The cable company said, we're going to start bringing you internet
Yep.
through our cable lines, and it will be lightning. DSL, that was the name of it. Yes,
DSL.
thanks. DSL. DSL was your old T1 line as far as speed and all that.
Wow.
But it still didn't help you because there were not that much websites, and the ones that were there, you didn't get that much interactivity. Now, keep in mind, even as this was happening, online trading hadn't even been thought of yet. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Online trading didn't start getting built out until late 1999
Wow.
and into 2000. No one was trading online until the early 2000s. The firm that I was at, we were the first pilot firm in the country to do online trading
Wow.
through what is called the PATS system, PATS. The PATS system was brought over from the UK, from a company called Man Financial, what you guys know of as MF Global.
Wow.
Yes, and that was our clearing firm at the time. So what happened was people were still laughing at the idea of using the internet for doing just about anything, especially trading. Because back then you had brokers on the trading floor. If you wanted to place a trade, you had to pick up a phone, you had to call your stockbroker, then he had to pick up his phone, call down to the floor, and give them the order for what you wanted to do. And back then, it could range you anywhere from $100 to $250 per trade, regardless of the amount of shares you wanted to trade.
That's nuts, man.
Exactly. So they laughed. It's like they're laughing at cryptos now because it's new technology.
I posted a few months ago. It was an article from I don't remember what year, but it wasn't even the 80s, man. It was from the 90s. It was like mid 90s, and I think it was like a guy considered like a technologist or a futurist or something like that, and he was just railing on how stupid an idea it was that the internet was ever going to be anything important, and he was like naming things that people would never do on the internet that now you can't do without the internet. You know,
exactly.
They were rolling off the tongue, and I think the caption I put was, "Now insert Bitcoin into this article, and you're going to understand what we're dealing with here."
Yeah, this is going to be mammoth because
people look at it and go, "Oh, Bitcoin, that's the thing you can't buy anything with, right?" And it's like, man, you guys, you got to have some vision here.
That's why people get left in the dust, and that's what causes bubbles. Because then, when things really kick off, you can start using Bitcoin at Walmart, then that's when everybody and their mother is going to be buying Bitcoin. It's going to cause a bubble. Bitcoin's going to go to $100,000 or maybe a million.
Mm-hmm.
Then the bubble will burst. Then they'll come in and say, we need government regulation
Yeah.
because I didn't know that Bitcoin was volatile and that I could lose all my money. Government, can you help me?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll come in with a pattern day trade rule for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then that's when they'll really roll it out and the
the
government
beautiful
will take it over.
the beautiful thing though is that you'll always have the DEXs, not you, the decentralized exchanges. I mean, I hope we always have you, bro. But that's the thing. The technology allows itself to function outside of the world of regulation because it's decentralized. So
Exactly.
we're always going to be able to do things. And I think, I don't know, I could be wrong about this, but I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head now. I just thinking out loud, it's the kind of thing where I think the regulators are going to think they know that they're going to think that they can control it and just not realize that they can't. They're going to come up with regulations about Bitcoin and all this kind of stuff, and then there's going to be some other token that people start using that they can trade in and out of Bitcoin, that they use instead of it, that they could use on decentralized exchange. You know, that kind of thing is going to be going on where the regulators think they're going to be able to control it, and they're just not going to be able to. There's just going to be too much going on.
Exactly. I mean, you still have, markets. I mean, even with equities, they have an over-the-counter market.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to be listed on the big exchanges
because
of all the politics. So you're still going to have those, but I just want to close it with this.
Yeah, and we got one more chart request before we go.
We got oil. Someone asked about crude oil.
Yes.
Crude oil right now is being politicized. All right, so there's a lot going on with the oil. But I will say this, though. Crude oil will go up again as tensions continue over in the Middle East. There's a lot of things going on right now that is being kept from the American people in the Middle East. We're building up all types of military over there. Trump has sent all types of troops overseas that they're not talking about. And we've been doing all types of operations over there, because we want to go to war with Iran, and they want to topple Iran's government and install their own puppet government that the UN can control. And that's the issue. Iran is one of the last holdouts for a central bank. So they want to go in and they want to install their central bank with their own, quote unquote democratic government.
Yep.
And Iran has been one of the last holdouts. From a historical standpoint, Iran's never been successfully invaded or defeated in war in all of its history. And part of that is probably because of the Prince of Persia. But it's never happened. So I do believe that if they do try to go to war with Iran, it will kick off World War III, because Iran is very close friends with Russia and with China. And they've already said it verbally that if that were to ever happen, they would be on the side of Iran. So you would have Iran, Russia, and China doing battle with the West.
Yeah.
So I just had to put that out
Very
there.
good. Yeah, and I want to say I will never stop interrupting Dex. because if I don't, no. Actually, I got. Sorry if I cut off something cool. We've got V texting us. Head over to Rogue News.
Yeah, we gotta go.
As soon as we get off here, we're gonna go do the Daily 10. And if you guys haven't checked that show out, that's 10 minutes of market news, and so we focus on the news. And I think we should probably reverse the order of these shows. So we should do the Daily 10 and then jump over here and do the charts, because it just makes sense, right? Plus, it should be at 10. The Daily 10 should be at 10.
There you go.
I know, both of us, we're rolling out of bed at 10, so. All right,
exactly.
Cool. Guys.
But you just gave my secret away.
You gave your big secret away. Dex likes his sleep. Nah, he works hard. All right, folks, thanks so much. We appreciate you all. A lot of fun on here. You know what? Dex doesn't know this. Tomorrow I probably won't be back, because tomorrow I'm traveling to Massachusetts, so I don't know if we'll be on unless Dex goes on from his rig at home. He says, I
don't like doing it without you.
Yeah, and it's no fun without me.
No, it's not.
Doesn't Eminem have a song like that? I'm like the
Heck if I
I'm
know.
like the Eminem of
Oh,
myself.
plus we won't be able to do it because I don't have the stuff and I don't know how to go live.
That's true. Yeah,
So
it's
we
actually
won't,
really
we
easy. I
won't,
could
we
show you.
won't
But
be
anyway,
doing it.
yeah. Sorry about that, folks. Once our new website's up, I won't be out of town as much, and so we'll have a more consistent schedule. But yeah, so we'll be back on Thursday, and then of course we'll do a webinar this Friday and stuff like that. So lots of fun coming. All right, thanks, folks. Don't forget, go to watchustrade.io to get started. We would love to have you. Right now, I'm going to cue that sweet heavy metal music. Here we go. Thanks for watching. To sign up for one of our live trading demos or to just join the room so that you can get in and trade with Dex, go to watchustrade.io. Thanks.